Look at this. Can you see what's happened? Compass number 9 is pointing in the wrong way. The red end of the needle is pointing in that direction, and that way's north. So this is called reverse polarity. I'm teaching on a navigation course today in this area. On the novice and intermediate courses, I always bring some compasses, just in case the participants don't have their own. But I can't use this one. I can't give out broken equipment. So I'd better get this fixed. I've got my camera in my rucksack, so I thought I would do an impromptu video about this topic. I don't have a tripod, by the way, as I wasn't expecting to make a video, so I've balanced the camera on that rock and hopefully it stays there. Let's see. I was just going to have a cup of tea before everybody arrives, so if I get anything wrong, please let me know in the comments. Now, there are a few ways that this reverse polarity could have happened. The compass may have been dropped, or it may have been heated to a very high temperature. But if I'm honest, it's my fault. Most likely, I just left it too close to something magnetic. And in this case, it's almost certainly my mobile phone. Now, I have lots of compasses, so I could just take number 9 home and I could fix it there. But let's say that this is my only compass and I need to use it to navigate away from here back to safety. So I need to try and fix it here. In other words, I need to remagnetize it so that the red end of the needle points north again. And to do this, I need to change the direction that the magnetic field of the compass needle points. Now, I'm not going to dive into lots of school science here, but the basics are that my compass needle is made up of countless atoms, and inside those atoms are electrons, and each electron has its own tiny magnetic field, and this is what makes some materials magnetic. I'll demonstrate it with these rocks here. This rock represents a little magnetic field from an electron. But you have to imagine that I've got millions and millions of these, not just 2. Couldn't. So each rock can stand up, it can lean forward, and it can lean back, but it can never lean sideways. It's a bit like a light switch. It could be either in at the top or in at the bottom. It can't be halfway to the side. Now, when enough of these rocks all lean in the same way, the whole needle becomes magnetic and points either north or south. Now, if this rock electron was on its own, don't forget, it can either lean front or back. But in certain materials like iron, nickel, cobalt, etc., the rocks, the electrons, they copy each other. So when one leans back, its neighbors do the same. If it leans forward, they follow. And before long, you have whole patches of electrons inside their atoms, all lined up in the same way. Physicists call these patches magnetic domains. Your compass needle has lots and lots of these domains all lined up, and that's what makes it point north or south. Now, if your compass gets damaged, all these magnetic domains can end up flipped the other way. Don't forget, the rocks can only lean forwards or back, okay? And this is why a reversed compass still points north or south, but obviously in the wrong way, never east or west. Oh, just a quick side note while we're talking about electrons. Have you ever wondered why they're called electrons? I'm sure you have. 2,500 years ago, the ancient Greeks noticed that if you rubbed a piece of amber onto some animal fur, it would attract small bits of straw or feathers. And this was one of the very first glimpses of electricity. And the Greek word for amber is electron. There you go. If we fast forward to the 1800s, scientists were trying to make sense of electricity. And in, I think it was 1891, someone will let me know if that's not correct. A physicist called, what was his name? George Stoney suggested that electricity must be made up of tiny indivisible units. He didn't know what they were, but he still gave them a name. He, borrowed the word electric from the Greek electron. And a few years later, another famous scientist, J.J. Thomson, he discovered the particle itself in his cathode ray experiments. I almost started waffling then, didn't I? Anyway, let's get back to my compass and its reverse polarity. No more waffle. Now, obviously, the magnetic domains in the needle have somehow flipped. So I need to rearrange them so the red end of the needle again points north. Before we try and fix this compass though, the obvious question is, do I really need to do it? Don't forget the example of the rock. They can only ever lean backwards or forwards, never sideways. So one end of my compass, or one end of the compass needle, will always point north or south, never east or west. So do I really need to fix this? The short answer is no. In an emergency, I can still use it. I can follow a compass bearing by using the white end of the needle instead of the red. I can use it with a map, or instead of red in the shed, I just use white in the shed. So I'd still be able to navigate myself in an emergency back to somewhere safe. But this video is about fixing a compass, not how to navigate with a broken one. What do you think? Maybe that's a video of the future? Who knows? Anyway, let's give it a try. We've all seen it. Every website, YouTube video, magazine, or a book that you read will tell you the same thing, that you need a very strong magnet to fix your compass. The usual idea is that you can use one to shuffle the magnetic domains in the needle back into line. But I'm out here in the hills and I just don't have an old laptop in my rucksack that I could dismantle to get the neodymium magnets from the hard drive. So let's imagine that for some bizarre reason I can't find my spare compass. So I have to fix this one. It's got to be fixed. Now, the one thing that most people do carry these days is a mobile phone, which ironically is probably what scrambled the compass in the first place. You know, the usual culprits are the magnets in the phone's speakers. The trouble is that most phones have got several magnets, all pointing in different directions. So you can't really use the phone itself to fix the compass. But I'm in luck. It just so happens. My phone case has a little magnetic catch in the cover, which puts the phone to sleep when you close the cover. Now, if I wave my cover over the compass, the south end of the needle is attracted to this side of the cover, and the north end is attracted to this side. It pulls across, and this tells me that the tiny magnet inside this only spans 2 or 3 millimeters, so it's really small. But don't forget that my compass has had its polarity reversed. So what I'll do is I'll just drag the magnet along the needle from one end right to the other end. It doesn't really matter if I do north or south, because opposite magnets attract, so the needle will turn to the right way. And all I do is I just simply continue dragging. The key bit of this, whichever type of compass you're using, is to finish the drag over the needle that you want to flip. That way, it's that end whose domains get arranged last. With a big strong magnet, this would only take a few moments. But with this, it could take some time. So I'll come back to you in a few minutes' time. I'll just carry on doing this. I think we have a result. Let me bring it up. I'll just get one of these other compasses and I'll show you. So now, if you look at the two compasses, I'll bring them up so you can hopefully see them. They're both pointing in exactly the same direction. So this is compass number 9, and it's now been fixed. So it worked. So the question is now, has this compass been fixed permanently? Now, the red end is pointing the way it's supposed to, and so is the white end, but will it continue doing this? Is it permanent? I would say almost certainly not. I know there are lots of YouTube videos and people will run neodymium magnets over compasses and then say, there you go, it's being fixed. But the difference is I use compasses all the time, not just on training courses. Sometimes earlier on this year, I was on the top of the Cairngorm Plateau in February in a blizzard at night. I need to be able to trust my compass. First time and every time. It has to be right. Otherwise I could be walking in completely the wrong direction, 180 degrees wrong. So the way to think about this is, in the factory when this compass was made, the needle will have been heated above its curry point. That's the temperature when all the magnetic domains lose their order. So it stops being a magnet. It will have then been, blasted with a very powerful electromagnetic current. And that would have locked the domains into the right direction. The chances of me replicating that process with a mobile phone cover or even an old magnet out of a laptop is, well, let's just say it's not very likely. So, you know, at the moment it works. So as a temporary fix, it works. I don't trust that it's permanent. So, but it will get me off the hill today. After that, I think compass number 9 is going to be retired. Thanks for watching. I'm just packing up my rucksack to go and meet the group for the course today. I imagine they'll arrive in about the next half an hour. Just as a quick last addition, do you remember when I said that a rock can only lean forwards or backwards? It can't lean sideways. Do you remember that? Somebody will probably ask in the comments why this is. So I thought I'd do this extra little bit. You know when you see a child's toy, a spinning top, I'll get one and drop it onto your screen so you know what I'm talking about. It wobbles. Have you ever noticed that when it's going round, it actually wobbles? This is a resistance to torque. It's a force. Gravity is trying to pull it over, but it's resisting it and it wobbles as it does so. This is called angular momentum, and with an electron does approximately the same thing. In quantum mechanics, there's a thing called quantum spin. I don't know if you've heard of that. What happens is, if you apply a force to an electron, it won't just flip. If you put it inside a strong magnetic field, it won't flip. It won't turn the other direction. It'll just wobble because it's also got a resistance to torque. Anyway, that is why electrons only go forwards or back. They don't go sideways. I just thought I'd add that in as I'm packing my bag.